for the first few bites.
Tastes like a burger. Processed cheese. Love it. I mean, it's okay. It's a video now.
I'm making a boomerang.
No, eat it.
All right. Mmm. So juicy. Guys, I think it's the ice thawing off the frozen beef patty.
Yeah.
It's made it juicy. Or it's this iceberg lettuce.
Yep.
A real nice touch. I didn't want romaine.
No.
No.
Or spinach.
Or spinach even. Or fuck
Kale.
that kale
Yeah.
and arugula bullshit.
What about the
You can
cheese?
get that down at Envie.
What about the cheese?
Meanwhile, the cheese is just a delight. And I love the
Ketchup?
caramelized onions as well and mashed into the cheese. I like the cheese goes from like basically a white down to a full sunshine orange. We have a full transition of Easter colors here. It's like a Cadbury egg of burgers.
Nice.
Yeah, that's your testimonial. So we just had our Steakenstein Derby.
Yep. And
Derby burger.
Yep, and we have our 5 criteria, which is 1 presentation, 2 flavor, 3 burger to bun ratio, 4 is fancy as fuck, which would be like plating, fancy extra stuff, sauces and so on. Anyway, and then the 5th one was the photo or description comparison.
Which we'll post a picture from the Coast website of this because we are reviewing the best of the worst for Halifax Burger Week 2019. And before we get into the review of the criteria, I just want to say on camera that my burger had a smoky taste, but I think it was because somebody was smoking a cigarette while they were making the burger.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to go on record to talk about that.
Yeah.
So what was our first one again? Presentation. What do you think?
Overall, it was fine. It came with the top bun off for some reason. You know what I mean? Like it was like upside down and it had the lettuce and the tomato on it. I don't know why they do that, but I had the end of the tomato, so it had like the stem on it. Do you know what I mean? Like when they slice it right at the end, it's disgusting. So that's fine. The sauce wasn't fancy like the picture. It was literally a blob. And it was,
it had a crisscross in the picture.
yeah, and it was like undescribable. Like I don't know if it was ketchup, barbecue sauce, or you said it was both. But other than
with a cigarette.
that's taste though. But it's a presentation. I mean, it was a clean plate. They didn't have that. I mean, I would give it out of 5, a 4.
Okay.
I mean, I'm up there, I guess.
I liked how they revealed it with the bun and the lettuce and the tomato here, and then over here you could see the melted cheese. That was a really nice way to showcase the processed cheese because that melts like lava. It's just kind of like a volcano.
Right.
So I'm gonna only give it a 3.
Okay, I'm just doing this.
3. So that's 7 out of 10 possible points for presentation.
Next,
now,
flavor.
Great.
You go first.
Well, again, mine made me think of a cigarette. But I definitely wouldn't have had one of those burgers after sex, I can tell you that much. So, straight up, the taste for me was dominated from that smokiness in the condiments and the oiliness from the cheese. So I'm only going to give that a 2.
The one thing that I found with flavor the most was the cheese. It was a processed cheese, and I like processed cheese, so I'm not complaining. I don't understand the iceberg lettuce, and I don't understand the tomato. I don't understand why they did all that.
I think the iceberg lettuce might have been an homage to the Titanic. Because Steakenstein's been around since the Titanic, I think.
Basically,
yeah.
I would say so. So I would say flavor, same thing, like a 2, because that patty was a frozen patty, like...
Yeah, and it tasted like ice. Again, Titanic.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Gross. So we have a combined weight of 4 out of 10 on that. 4 out of 10.
Yeah.
Let's get into the third, which is the burger to bun ratio. And I think for me, I actually found that it was good in that way.
Yeah.
I like to be able to cut a burger in half and eat it in like 2 halves. And for me, I was satisfied. So 4.
Me too. Solid 4.
So that's
Yeah.
an easy 8 for
Yeah.
that one. So best points so far, Steak and Stein Derby Burger. The fancy as fuck factor. I really have a hard time because I got the onion rings as the side,
right.
and they were fried together, so the onion rings weren't separate. Like, they were all in one big clusterfuck of friedness. And I know that's not the burger, but it just didn't help the fanciness because there was nothing else. I mean,
No.
no herbs,
Nothing. No skewer, no pickle, no olive.
no toothpick,
Yeah, there's nothing.
nothing.
But so I mean, I'm gonna give it a 1. It was pretty bad. I mean, based off of the criteria that we've set for like fancy, it wasn't fancy.
No, and I'm gonna be well. I mean, I would give it a 0 if we had to set that number, but we have
didn't.
not. So yeah, I get it, girl. So I'm gonna give it a 1.
Excellent.
So there's a 2 out of 10. Boo.
Boo.
Last category.
Photo description.
So again, we will post a picture of the photo, but when I looked at this one on the coast, I was entranced, mesmerized, if you were, by the crisscross of the Derby barbecue sauce on the bun.
Yeah.
And it was on a nice, it just really seemed to adorn it with something classy. And like you said, we were just a blob.
Just a blob. I was not impressed. I was kind of pissed off, actually.
Yeah, and so I don't think there was anything that really connected it other than just the base. I mean, the fried onions, I could kind of see that a bit. So I'm going to give it a 2.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to give it a 2 as well.
So that's 4 out of a possible 10 for the photographic likeness. So our total score
If you can add.
for this one, if I can add 4 and 3 is 7 and 2 is 9 and 2 is 11, 15, 19, 20, 25. So I got a 25 out of 50, so an even 50%. And yeah, you know, in good private high schools, a pass is 60, so that didn't even pass in class. Maybe a public school pass for that burger, but barely that. So onwards tomorrow, it is lunch. It's Jungle Gyms. So that'll be our second dissection. Best of the worst.
Best of the worst.
Halifax Burger Week 2011. Later, Gator.